Okay. Question and answer time for tonight, and who has a question? Yeah.
So, you know, the other night I was getting into a bit about my daughter, and I thought it was a funny bit, but I got a kind of an off-putting reaction from the audience, like it was kind of hard to transition. What are you doing in a situation like that when you feel a sting like that?
Yeah, when you say something about someone anywhere, whether it's a heckler or someone in your routine, etc., and the audience can kind of turn on you for it, there's a fix for that. You've got to make sure that the audience understands that they deserve it. Okay? And that's really the trick. It's a psychological trick. They have to deserve any wrath you put on them. Like your daughter was probably sweet up to this point, and then you said some kind of a harsh thing, you know, blah, 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 and she didn't deserve it, and the audience went, oh, yeah, it's a little too... But if she's bratty, right, or she's acting up, and then you say something like that, she deserves the amount of wrath that you put upon her. They'll go there with you usually, okay, because she deserves it. And it's the same thing with a heckler. If somebody heckles you lightly and you just hit them really hard like that, I've seen the audience that turn on people. One time I was performing at the usual place I performed. These women were saying to themselves, going, oh, he's kind of ugly. Oh, he's got bad skin. Oh, damn, you know, we want the real men to come out. And they're just right here, and they're saying stuff just loud enough for me to hear them, right? And I turned on them and just took them apart. And the audience hated me. Because all they saw was me turning on these three women and saying some awful, mean heckler things to them for no reason. So, my memory was I never dug my way out of that hole without audience. I got them laughing a little bit by the end of my set or whatever, but it just killed the set. The audience just really disliked me because these people didn't deserve it. So with hecklers, you got to make sure the audience perceives that they deserve it, and if they really deserve something, you can just tear them up. Now, let's just go on an easier side of this as well without sounding too sexist. You have to be easier on women. Okay, the women really, really have to deserve it if you're going to go after them. A friend of mine used to do a thing was don't go after the woman, go after the guy she's with. What a loser you're with, you know. And the woman's now embarrassed, the guy's embarrassed, etc., and then you could deal with it. So when you're designing an act out or whatever, right? Give that character, in your case, brattiness, or, you know, make them kind of irritating when they're talking to you. You know, you really shouldn't be doing things. You're not. It's not. And pretty soon, audience perceives this character, goes, oh, good. And then you say something lousy about them. They're going, yeah. You got that person. You know, that person deserved it. So whether it's, you know, hecklers, whether it's whether it's the MC too, or anybody, other comedians in the show, the audience has to perceive that they deserve it before you can roast them, you can trash them and hit them really hard and say something really mean. Otherwise, there's a good chance they'll turn on you.